Hello, Siobhan.
Hello, yes.
Hello, Siobhan. Pat O'Brien here, Siobhan.
Pat, morning.
Now we're having Siobhan McNamara. She's involved with the Lahinch Traditional Music Festival, and she's going to give us a bit of an update on the forthcoming Traditional Music Festival in Lahinch.
Good morning, Pat, and thank you for having me on this morning. It's always great to get the calls from.
And I have your friend Anthony here as well, so you can say hello to him as well. He's
hello.
on.
Good morning, sir. How are you, Ashley? Good morning. So just to give you a bit of background, Pat, to the festival itself, it's in memory of my lovely grandmother, Siobhan O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
She was born in 1892 back in Bartraw in Lahinch. And I suppose she was playing music from a very young age. She started aged 8. She cycled over to Ennistimon and learned her trade there. I suppose as a teenager then she worked in the family's little shop and guest house on Main Street, Lahinch, and next door was her brother in Flanagan's Bar. So I suppose she was playing music from a very young age, Pat, you know. I suppose she had an interesting life story in terms of being born, you know, when the Troubles were there. We're well aware of Ryaneen, the ambush in 1920.
Yeah.
I suppose at that time she was involved, Pat. And although in the records her name wasn't down as a Common Amon member, which always fascinated me, but she was still involved in the cause, you know. She was actually Packy Lahin. I'm sure you're aware of Packy Lahin. He was the poor man that was burnt alive in her family home. So Packy was her boyfriend at the time. So he was burnt in after Ryaneen. There were Ryaneen reprisals in Milltown, Lahinch. Yeah. So I suppose my grandmother, God rest her, she had to leave this country, as many more did, because they were looking for her at that point. You know, she was seen as a sympathiser. So the British Crown were on the hunt for her, and I suppose the IRA got her down as far as Cove, and she went by ship there to America. She had a lot of trauma in her life, Pat, you know. And we always felt that the music was the salve for that trauma, because she no sooner landed in New York than she joined a group. You'll enjoy this because it pertains to East Clare. She joined up with a group called the Biddy Early.
Oh, yeah.
So a group of Common Amon women. That formed a group in New York, and they played every weekend. And, of course, the funds they made went back to the cause here in Ireland. So I suppose she came back to Ireland then in 1923, and what was an interesting facet of her life in New York, she met an Italian fiddler as well, and he actually bought her a fiddle while they were over there. Her mother called her back to County Clare, and she came back to Clare with the view to returning to New York, but she never got to go back. And I was explaining to Auntie Lena, and her favourite tune was "My Love Was in America." Which we always
have it lined up.
Very good. We're brilliant. You know.
Anthony's on the ball here.
I'm a better man than Auntie Lena, and I'll tell you.
So that's great, Siobhan. And I suppose your festival is a fantastic event every year, and you'll be hoping for nice weather, nice sunny weather.
The coolest day. We're putting the Child of Prague out on Monday morning, Pat. to be sure. We've been lucky now the last 2 years. So the festival is April 17th to the 19th.
17th to
and
19th,
I suppose it's really celebrating her life. You know?
Yeah, very nice.
She was Chair President of Kiltis in 1960, so, you know, there's a lot to be celebrated, really, you know.
And I suppose you have a lot of musicians lined up for the weekend, Siobhan.
Yeah, we have about 70 sessions over the 3 days, because we're blessed in Lahinch. There's 12 venues at our disposal, Pat, you know. So we're very lucky that every business was bought into it. So I think there's about 175 musicians booked and 70 sessions or thereabouts. And a lot of your own East Clare crew are on board. I mean, it's a great marrying of both sides of the county. You have the Mark Donlan, Mike Landers, you have Brendan Haerty, Clee Donlan, Mary McAndrew. You have all those great musicians partaking as well. And just to mention, we have 2 great concerts as well. We have Tara Breen in concert with Alan Reid, and we had PJ Murray on the Sunday night. So it's a varied affair, I suppose, and we were very conscious of bringing in the cultural heritage dimension to the weekend, Pat, in terms of music is everywhere to be found, but we also want to, we've pop-up Gaeltacht, we've basket making, we've beach foraging, so we've all those other little dimensions going on.
All adds onto the weekend, yeah.
And exactly, Siobhan, the basket making isn't just for the basket cases.
Well, are you signed up?
I'm sure there'll be eventually, yeah.
And I suppose there'll be some outdoor sessions as well, Siobhan, will there, at the weekend? Would there be some outdoor sessions, depending on the night weather?
If the weather is nice, that's the intention. That in when we first launched in 2024, there was lots of music outside. So obviously it's very weather dictated, isn't it?
Of course,
there's nothing worse, with instruments, with stringed instruments, they can go off very quick,
Quick, yeah. Yeah, you're nice. You'd like it to be nice and fine, and nice and sunny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just something else we have that's of interest is Eamon Murphy. He's currently out in foreign lands. I believe he's a friend there of Anthony's.
Yeah, I know him.
So he's an artist, so he has painted 6 local musicians for us again this year. So they'll be on display. So that'll be a surprise for people. And we also, I don't know if you know Paddy Hassett from Ballinruan.
I know Paddy, I know Paddy well, yeah.
Paddy is a very gifted fiddle maker with no training, but a gift that he had passed on from his own father.
John Joe, I used to know John Joe. He used to come down. He lives up up the road from me, and he used to be down to me in the Black Sticks, and he actually used to make fiddles as well, John Joe.
That's right, but they're the most beautiful. Now, he's an incredibly beautiful one made out of bog oak, would you believe?
Bog oak, yeah.
And I'm just fascinated. I love to see him, the little miniature tools that he uses. It's an incredible craft he has. Incredible craft, I suppose as well as that, this year we've got the international dimension. We've got a group coming from Brittany in France who are Irish traditional musicians. So it's great to have them on board this year as well.
And how did you get them?
They're very, very talented,
How did you get them?
Sorry?
How did you get them? Did you have to bribe them? Huh?
Last year they were visiting Clare and they happened to come to Lahinch and were fascinated. So they stayed for 2 extra nights. So then we just said, look, is there any chance next year for our festival you'd come and play? So the deal was done.
Very good. Fair juice to
you. Yeah. My cousin Eddie Stack, God rest him, we've a reading. Eddie is dead 10 years this year.
I see.
So we have a reading of Eddie's beautiful short stories, and that's by his son Andreas. So that will be taking place on Sunday evening as well. So, there's something for everyone really at this festival, and we hope as many as possible from East Clare might come over and attend. There's a great Cayley by Slieve Ockley on the Saturday 3 to 6.
Right.
So it's always well supported by these Clare people, in fairness to them,
And I suppose, Siobhan, the only thing, as you said, the child of Prague out, and you'll be down your knees now for a nice bit of fine weather.
The nice bit of fine weather helps a lot. I see it there with the Peak Festival every year. The day that you get fine weather is a blessing, Pat.
It's a blessing, it is.
It's an absolute blessing. But you know what? I always think followers of festivals, in a way, it doesn't put them out too much because their heart and soul is full of music. And that's what they're there for. The weather doesn't matter. It's just, I think, and in this current climate and this mad world that we're living in at the moment, there's nothing like music to salve the soul. I think it just brings people together in a very positive circle.
And of course, we've plenty of those festivals now on in Clare for the summer. I suppose there's a couple already. You have the one in Doolin, the Russell Festival, and I think Corofin was on there 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so
that's right.
You'll have the Hinch, and of course you'll have Willie Clancy in Milltown, and I think they have one in Kilrush as well, and later on in the year, and
that's right,
and Fecal. So. Just some of the few that's around. So it is Clare's a marvellous county for traditional music and for festivals.
It certainly is, and it's great to have one up. I know we've got Milltown next door, but I think Lahinch has such a special setting with the sea and the bit of golf if you want, and there's plenty of drive. And I must say, the restaurants there and the quality of food is exceptional in Lahinch. And I suppose historically, Pat, you know, at the end of the harvest was where the farmers tended to go to, wasn't it, for their break, Lahinch?
Yeah.
And I suppose up for the old festival in Listonverne as well.
Yeah, if they were looking for a wife, they'd move up to Listonverne.
That's right, and Garland Sunday in Lahinch was a big thing as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of history connections with Lahinch, you know. So it's great to have this festival, and long may it continue. We're only in year 3, but we're just amazed at how well it has gone. You know?
Yeah. Fair dues to you.
Yeah.
So just to recap again, Siobhan, you're on on Friday the 17th to Sunday the 19th of April.
Of April.
Yeah.
Of April.
And
we're starting early on Friday afternoon. It's kicking off at 3 o'clock, and the festival launch is at 8 o'clock then.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Siobhan, we have from your CD, Song to Ireland, we have, to wind down the interview here, we have My Love is in America, and that's played by the lads. That's Michael Landers, John Kenny, and Mark Donlan, I think, in that particular track.
That's it. That's wonderful. And that's in memory of my grandmother, Susan O'Sullivan.
Yeah, with her link to America. Okay, listen, thanks a million, Siobhan.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Siobhan. Thanks very much.
Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.